Well, this is another great day. We're on a hill, and you can see behind me this beautiful vista. And if you look north, that's where we're looking, you'll see El Montillon, the development of Punta Rasa, and then beyond that, the Bay of Haltemba. It's a beautiful sight. Now, in our journey to find lost civilizations, there's several things that we were looking for. We were looking for sources of clear water. Water was life, okay? And then we looked for places of grand vistas. This place is beautiful. Look at it. It's beautiful. So grand vistas, places of water, are really good places to look for lost civilizations. Now this place is really fantastic. Indians did live and worship here. Now unfortunately, when they built this road over here, on this flat plateau, they destroyed probably most of the petroglyphs that existed. When they did this road, they upturned the rocks and the boulders, and so there's very little signs. But I'll tell you what, we did find signs of life over here. Follow me and let me show you what we found, okay? Right over here, it looks just like a series of boulders here. But if you look closely, you'll see that they form some kind of semicircle. Now remember, this spot has been disturbed. But let me show you two things over here which will give you an indication that this has some value. You have a flat spot over here. These flat spots were often used to grind food. Right over here they have what's called a coconut oil palm. So they're little nuts, so you would grind them here. But I'll tell you what, there's one symbol that you always find on these spots, and hopefully you can see it. Right over here, just barely discernible, is a spiral. What John might have to do is come in real close. You can see it right over here. Here it is. This is a very, very old spiral. It takes thousands of years for these boulders and stones to disintegrate. And you can see the outlines of a spiral here. Now, in itself, the remnants might not mean something, but then when you find the symbol as part of the remnants, you know you have something. Again, this is the bowl. Smooth surfaced area. This is part of the circle. It's a mound, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around over here. And I'm going to start tracing the spiral. A very faint image. I can hardly see it myself even here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to trace it, and John's going to walk across, and you're going to be able to see the remnants of this little spiral that was barely visible, okay, just a couple of minutes ago. Again, I want to remind you that we're environmentally safe here. We're not defacing the spiral. But here it is. There it is. There's the tracing, okay? Probably you couldn't see it before, but right now, here it is. That's the tracing of the spiral that existed. This is a very old stone, weathered, but it's there, definitely. With the human eye, you can actually see it. Maybe a little more difficult with the camera. But I've traced it for you. I'll show you another wonderful find that verifies to us that people live here. Here's this boulder. Here's another spiral. This is very old, let me tell you. You can see the groove starting right over here. This is the interior of the spiral. And it's going around and around and around. Now this stone is already aging. These stones, let me cut across, are thousands of years old. And what happens is you can see right over here the flaking. See the elements, the water, the heat, the rain, the wind, actually eventually break down this rock. It takes millions of years to do it, but it does happen. Right over here, again, you can see the spiral. This is a very, very old and ancient spiral. So this is evidence that the ancients were here. As I said, unfortunately, this site has been pretty well destroyed. All the big boulders have been cast aside. But luckily, they left this one behind. Well, after we shot this scene, John told me he probably couldn't pick up the spiral because there's an overcast. There's a big palm tree here covering it. So what I'm going to do is I've got some chalk over here. Okay, this is environmentally safe. We're not damaging the petroglyph at all. This will wash off in the rain. And what I'm going to do for us is to trace this spiral so that you can see what I'm talking about, okay? So here we go. I'm going to start right here where the point is. And I'm going to go around. Here we go. This is it. And this is a crude spiral, but nevertheless it is a spiral. Can you see the shape? It's starting to come in. And there you have it. It's beautiful. I'll tell you what, there's been many times where I've gone onto a site and I've actually stepped on these and not been able to see them. So it's very dependent on what kind of shadow and what kind of light you have. Now again, I don't want you to worry that I'm defacing or destroying this site. This is plain chalk, and in one rainfall it'll all wash away. But I wanted to show you the significance of this site. Okay? Very hard to discern, okay, in the shadow. But one of the things we'll do is we're going to go to the other one. I'll tell you. Now there's some other designs over here. Let me show you something, okay? Let me show you something. Okay? These are also designs. So actually, you know, this is a very great piece of work because it's more than just a spiral. These are all designs over here. These are all designs over here. Okay. Now there's other designs on this side of the rock. It's hard to tell what it is. Let me go over there and see if I can take a look. No, I think this is it. But you can see this here. Now some spirals, you see this over here, have a tail all the way across. And to me, okay, those a lot of times are symbols of a falling star or a meteorite or even maybe a sun. Sometimes they build a sun around these. So the spiral design is very, very ingenious and takes many forms. Comets, suns, directions for water, water this way. If the spiral goes this way, water that way. Depending on the culture, they had different meanings, okay? Some meant migration. In the deserts in the United States, if you found a spiral like this, it could have meant that the tribe migrated in this direction. So anyways, there you have it. I'm glad we were able to chalk it out for you. And like I said, don't worry. We're not destroying the rock. This is chalk. It'll wash away in 1 or 2 rains, and the stone will be returned to its original form. Really a beautiful piece of artwork. As I said, the only thing that has saved this rock from destruction is this tree right here. You can see how it's resting up on there. It was pushed aside, as were all the other petroglyphs here. They're all gone. We found only 2, and it's a real shame. In sites like these, you'll find dozens. You'll find dozens because the Indians lived here 1,000 years ago and for hundreds of years. Well, there you have it. This is the only thing that's left. These little pottery fragments, which I'm going to leave right here as an homage to the ancients. There you have it. And you know, this might be the only time you'll ever see this. Maybe next week, maybe a month, next year, this will be gone. Development will destroy this rock. So I feel honored to be able to show you this, and I hope you enjoy the fact that you're able to see this. Sadly, you might not be able to ever again see this. So anyways, let's continue our journey to find lost civilizations. From here we're going to Alta Vista, and there's some more petroglyphs that we're going to share with you. So anyways, let's go. I'm having a great time, and I know you are too.